Okay. Well, I must say good morning, everyone.
Hey, Audrey.
Good
Hey,
morning.
everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, it's good.
I
It's
just
so
wanted to make
exciting. This,
sure that I had some
yeah,
sound here. It was so quiet.
yeah. I mean, I know that I'm supposed to be providing an overview, but I think I'm at 10:30, and so I'm just waiting for the
Oh,
facilitators to come and do what they do. But I'd love to start, but I think the facilitator has to advance my slides for me. That's what I was instructed. So I'm at 10:30. So don't look at me side-eyed. Anybody, please. And I hope this is going to be the number because I don't like crowds. I tell you. And I have a
I hear you, Manuel.
mm.
More
I
of
got
an
a
intimate setting, right?
right, and this does it, and many of y'all in here, uh, already familiar with my work. So Miss
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly, both of you, the Kimberlys, hmm and Miss Saranthia, you've heard of my work, and
I
Audrey,
have,
you
and
may have heard
I
my work
look
too.
forward to it, Manuel. I look forward to it.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Hi, Manuel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Miss Sutton and Miss Bain,
Hello.
where are you guys from?
Mecklenburg County.
Oh, so you're with Alliance?
Yes, we were the one from Mecklenburg.
Okay, how about you, Miss Bain?
I'm in Cumberland.
And you're with Alliance also.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, this is just great. And Miss Bain, you seem familiar. We may have collaborated on something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting over post nasal drip also, so I need to pep up or find me a cup of coffee or something so I can really give y'all the
Good
full
morning,
energy.
Sharon.
Good morning, Saranthia.
How are
Good
you?
morning.
I'm great. How are
Oh,
you?
Hi, Tamika.
oh my.
Hi, Cynthia. Corinthia.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Oh,
Wow.
good
I called
morning.
you that. I called you that while we were in training too. You was like, okay.
My mom's name is Cynthia, so I don't take any offense at all. At all.
You say you're in good company, right?
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
ma'am. Hi, Miss
Oh my
Audrey. How are
gosh.
you?
I'm finding yourself.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
So me and Saranthia met when I was with East Point.
Yes. Yes. I worked on the provider
Oh,
side and she was on the LME MCO side. So we've known each other for quite some
oh,
time,
okay.
actually. It's good to be on the other side, Sharon. It's good to be.
Good, great.
And I'm going to mute now, okay?
So are you guys like under the impression this begins at 10?
I
That's
got
what
two invites. I got one at 10 and then one at 10:30. So I didn't know I didn't know if it was a two-part deal or I don't
Oh,
know.
oh, see, I got the
I'll
10
probably
o'clock. It was
Yeah,
I'm gonna send
I got a 10
I'm gonna
and
send this.
10:30.
mm,
Is it Miss Lynch Manuel that's the facilitator for this?
Yeah, I think her and John Kyler. So yeah,
yes.
she's just at yeah, Miss Lynch
Oh,
just joined us. Yes.
yeah. And I just got
Oh,
my I just see I have my received my reminder for the 10:30.
okay.
Hey, Andrea. Hey, Janice. Good to see you both.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll begin starting in a few moments, everyone. If you can just put your name, title, and email in the chat so you can receive credit for your attendance today, that would be great. Thanks. Manuel, you can get started if you're ready. I think we got a full house here this morning.
Yeah. I'm ready. Yes, ma'am. So whenever you are ready for me, you can go ahead and move the slide forward. Good morning, everybody. I am. Let me take my camera off so you can see. I'll be able to see all of my scruffiness this morning, but that's okay. That's okay. But it's just like a beautiful forest behind me, though, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of that. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Again, this is Manuel Hyman. I am the ILI Housing Coordinator for Durham and Mecklenburg counties. And I'm going to give you, I'm kind of struggling with a little post-nasal drip recovering, so bear with me. And so I'm going to tell you, just give you a little overview of the ILI Housing Assistance Program. And ILI is short for Independent Living Initiative. And let's see. Okay. Move the slide forward, please. And you would get the full benefit of the ILI program, greater knowledge about it when you attend a full ILI training. So this is just giving you a little taste of what ILI is about. So ILI is a one-time, short-term rental housing assistance program, and it's for individuals who have a mental health, intellectual, developmental disability, or substance use diagnosis, and they're working with a contracted alliance provider. And not just the provider, it can also be someone who is serving as that member's case manager. And so a lot of times we receive applications on behalf of members from someone on the care management team, such as a community health worker. And some of you are in this meeting right now, as a matter of fact, and I've worked with. It's for those who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. Next slide, please. So eligibility for ILI, the member must be connected with a provider, and that provider must be contracted with Alliance, and they must be actively engaged in an enhanced service. Now, there has been some communication and some talk and some confusion about what one of these services, which is a benefit, TCM, or Tailored Care Management, and somebody has told some providers providing that benefit that they can apply for ILI for their member. We're still working that out and getting more information about that. So you can just kind of stand by with information about that. But right now, the member has to be actively engaged in an enhanced service, and they must be a resident of Cumberland, Durham, Johnston, Orange, Mecklenburg, or Wake counties, and very shortly, Harnett County. And they must have an income that is at or below 60% of the area median income, and they must be experiencing a recent crisis. And I'll tell you a little bit about that, what a crisis is in another slide. And they have no other options to prevent homelessness. ILI is a last resort. So you, good people, are required to you and the member seek other resources in the community for assistance prior to coming to ILI. And this must be also demonstrated in the application that there was some outreach, and what was the outcome of that contact with that agency, of that community resource. And some of these places, these agencies can contribute, and then a lot of these places are limited with what they can provide. They may have run out of their funding or whatever. So, but that's a requirement. ILI is a last resort. And again, it's short term and it's one time. And so the household must demonstrate that they can sustain housing once assistance has ended, because it will end. And the provider, you guys who have not been trained in ILI, you have to be trained in ILI. in order to complete the application, in order to gain access to the application system. And the member must have Medicaid with Alliance Health. Next slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. And so the enhanced services, if you don't know this already, ACT or the ACT team, CST, I've gotten applications where the service was listed from a provider organization as care coordination. And so this application will probably be denied because the provider does not provide care coordination. That's actually an Alliance staff function. So those of you who are in this meeting right now who have submitted ILI applications, that's what you would, and you have, selected in the application as the service type, care coordination. Intensive in-home, multisystemic therapy, and SAOP, SACOT. And again, ILI is a last resort only. Next slide, please. All right, so some barriers that some of our members may face just in general with seeking assistance or seeking housing rather. They may face, some income barrier. They just don't make enough money. They have SSI income. They have employment income. They don't get enough hours though, or they make minimum wage. And so with the way rents are these days, the rent amounts, contract rents, people just can't afford housing. And you and I know this as if you're not a homeowner, and if you've ever rented, you know that rents are not affordable. And so, so income could be a barrier. Availability of affordable housing. We know that the housing stock is very poor, it's low. And again, it's just not affordable for our members. And so if it is affordable, it's going to be in locations that might be questionable, have maybe a high level of criminal activity and or drug activity or whatever activity that may make that neighborhood or community undesirable or challenging to live in. And so, so yeah, availability of affordable housing. Education, a lot of our members don't have a high school diploma, don't have a high school education, and they may have issues or challenges with literacy or comprehension. And, you and I may have problems or struggles, not problems, challenges with understanding the language on a lease agreement. And so what do you think that would mean for our members? And so they could be taken advantage of by a landlord, a property manager, if the landlord knows that this person is struggling to understand what's on an official document. And so, or may not rent to them at all. Mental health, disability. I can see James Brown, a mile away, that James has a problem. A lot of our members wear their disability on their sleeve, and then a lot of our members don't mind sharing their disability or their struggles with strangers. And so, that could be a cause for preventing someone to move into a property. Criminal background, credit history, and eviction history, these things a property manager or landlord, they have access to. This helps them to make decisions on whether to rent to a person or not. Is this person going to be a risk to the neighbors, to my other tenants? And so things like that. Transportation might be a barrier. If the housing is not near a bus stop, does the person have to walk to where they get to? They may have mobility issues. Is the pavement smooth and it's not bumpy, or there aren't cracks and things like that where they can ride their motorized wheelchair on? Do they live near a grocery store where they can get good, nutritious produce and meats, things like that? Or do they live near a pharmacy where they can get their medications refilled? And so transportation could be a barrier. Residency status. if a household is undocumented, we are not able to assist them. Now, we may be able to do this if, let's say, a member is a child, and that child is documented. That child has a social security number, and the other members of the household, like the parents, they are not documented. Then we may be able to assist that household with whatever their housing struggle is. Next slide, please. So we talked about a crisis earlier. There has to be a crisis. The household I've received applications where the crisis was not clearly defined. It was not clearly explained. And so I'm like, what's the crisis? So, okay, some examples of a crisis could be the temporary loss of income. Somebody was suspended from work. Maybe they were fired. Maybe they were sick and they couldn't go to work. So that decreases their wages for the week. So temporary loss of income, threat of eviction is a real that's a real challenge for our members, that the landlord threatens them with eviction. Loss of a housing voucher. Folks stand in line or wait in line for a long time to get approved for a voucher. And if they violate the terms of their lease, they're violating the terms of that voucher. And so they risk losing that voucher. They just started a new job. Although that's not a crisis, that does demonstrate that they are going to have income, because with ILI, we said before, the funds are short term to get a household over this hurdle. And so they have to have income to continue paying the rent and utilities the way they are supposed to be paid. So we know that they're going to have income. So in this instance, they have to provide for the application an employer letter that shows the start date, the wage, the frequency of pay, and the number of hours per week. Overcrowding, they need to move. Some of our members are couch surfing, and so they'll need to move into their own place. I let James Brown move in with me temporarily. That's putting me at risk for getting evicted, because if James Brown stays more than he's allowed, the landlord gets wind of it, that puts me at risk for eviction for violating the terms of my lease. A traumatic life event, car accident, death in the immediate family, inclement weather. Here, I live in Greensboro. So here in Greensboro, we had a tornado, I think in 2018, which came through my neighborhood, actually, and trees, power lines down. And so that, okay, Ms. Lisa, let's see, is it a crisis if the member is in a housing situation where they could relapse? If they relapse, that could be a crisis, yes. They relapse, they use their monies for, and I appreciate you putting this in the chat because I wasn't looking over there, but I don't see anybody else had put anything in here. But yes, if they have relapsed, they misuse their funds for their drug of choice. But you have to demonstrate in that application a sustainability plan. And so the sustainability plan must include what you and the member will do to prevent this from recurrence. All right. So that could be participating in a re-engagement in a SAOP program and other community resources, but there has to be a plan. And we know that relapse is a part of recovery, but there has to be a clear plan in place for us to consider assisting the household or the member. I hope that answered your question, Lisa. You can come on the mic, and okay, you're welcome.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right,
I'm sorry. I was just curious because I have some members who, they could be in a situation where there's drugs around them and they're worried about, relapsing. So, if they need to be placed in a different housing situation. So that was the reason for my question. But thank you.
Well, let me toy with that for a minute. Okay, so you explained it. I have a clearer understanding of what you were asking. If it has to be unsafe, and you have to demonstrate that the crisis, um, that the environment is unsafe for them in order for them to relocate, because you see at the bottom here of the slide, not considered a crisis, desire to move from one housing location to another to a better, nicer neighborhood. That's not a crisis, but your explanation. I mean, even talking to me, talking to the ILI housing coordinator before you submit the application. So let's just kind of have a case conference, okay? And let's talk about the matter before you start working on the application. Let's talk about it and see if this person would meet the criteria for assistance before you even do that. So what you're saying sounds pretty good. It sounds like it would be a case that we could work with, but we gotta talk about it some more. All right. Not just because a person wants to move or um, but because they are really struggling with this matter and they're at risk for relapse. All right. So we said traumatic life event, domestic violence. Fleeing domestic violence is a crisis. Not considered a crisis. Car issues. I've had applications like that in the past. Well, they can't get to work. They use their money on maintenance and blah, 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 blah. Well, we know that when we own a vehicle, we own a motor vehicle, that's the risk that we have, that there's going to be a maintenance concern. There are going to be repairs. So we say some examples here, paying your car registration. Well, we know that's an annual event, so put it in your budget. You got speeding or parking tickets. Well, don't have a lead foot and don't park there. You have a car note, your monthly car payment, put it in your budget. Otherwise, you'll be coming around every month looking for ILI assistance. I had to pay my car note. I had to pay my car note. Repairs, so these things, that's not a crisis. Mismanagement of funds. And we did talk about that, Lisa. That's there has to be that sustainability plan. And, we know that relapse is a part of recovery. So, but if a person is just lending money that they don't have, they're going into their rent pot of money, their utility pot of money, and they're lending money, they're playing the lottery, they're playing bingo, they have a gambling problem. Yeah, that's not going to make it. They had to pay other bills, household bills. I had to get school supplies for my kids, school clothes and things like that. I had to, buy groceries and, instead of paying my rent. Well, there are resources out here that you should help them, that member in that household, to identify to meet those needs, but they should not compromise. They should not use their rent money. They should not use their utility money for those other purposes. And again, desiring to move from one housing location to another. No, just because you want to move, we're not going to help you move. Next slide, please. So how to apply? So request for ILI housing assistance is only accepted online through the ILI system. And there was a time that predated me. I came on with Alliance in 2018. So there was a time that they accepted hard copy applications. And I can just imagine how that was, especially, with my handwriting and, my jacked up handwriting. I'm sure there were some other people who had the same thing, or maybe they typed them in and typed in the information. I don't know. But anyway, there was a time that there were hard copy applications, but no longer. So, yeah, so it's an online system. Next slide. And we have our training for next month, for February right here. If you need ILI training, you see that here. And I think, Andrea, you have the list of ILI housing training dates for January through March. Well, if you are interested, hold on, don't go anywhere. This is my email address. I'm putting it in the chat. And I'll make sure I spelled it right. And then also my phone number. my cell number. So email me for the ILI training dates, and I'll be glad to email that to you. And because all you have to do is select the desired training date, then on that date, select the MS Teams link to get access into the training. And I urge you to be on time because you may not get in to the training if you're late. And so next slide, please. So how we make a determination, applications are reviewed daily. And we were just, my team, we've been looking at Alliance's website, and it has some errors in the website, and showing that during that time when they were reviewing paper applications, that they would meet, I think, every Tuesday and Thursday, a team, and people from other agencies like DSS and all this, they would get together and meet and discuss applications and all of that. So when housing is such an urgent matter, I think that, what we do now, we review them every day, and we have a sense of, we work through these applications with a sense of urgency because we know that this matter is urgent. We carefully review each application for completeness. And I'm going to urge, I have to say that again, for completeness, because we get applications that are so deficient in so many things, in information, in documents, things like that. So thank you, Ms. Terry. I appreciate your question. I get to see the smile on your face. Is there a funding limit on ILI requests? There is not a funding limit, but we do get a yearly annual budget for each county. And so I have to be a good steward of these resources. So I have to make the funds last throughout the year. So there may be some requests that may appear or may be excessive in the request amount. And so, and that's something that I would talk about with the provider or the community health worker or with Kimberly Terry specifically. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that answered your question, Ms. Terry. All right, thumbs up, very good. We check the household member service involvement and their status. Let me say that we do check in ACS or Alpha to see if a household or member is actively engaged in a service. If their authorization ended yesterday, let's say for CST, their authorization ended yesterday, they do not meet criteria for ILI assistance because they have to be actively engaged. The authorization must be current. All right. So just an example. We calculate the member's income, their access to community resources, and their ability to sustain the household, their rent, their utilities, and we examine their risk of becoming homeless. And I contact you, you contact me if we need to seek clarity about a matter. Next slide, please. And this is my contact information. And I think I should have put my other housing colleagues on here, but for Cumberland and for Johnston counties, that would be Zariah Harris, and some of you already know her. And for Orange and Wake counties, that would be Renata Bender. But you can contact me if you need to contact someone in the county that you serve. So are there any questions? If you do, take yourself off mute and let's talk. Again, you can get, the full benefit of ILI training, because this is just a few slides from that training, by participating in an actual training. And if you don't have access to the system, this is the way to get access to the system. All right. Any questions, comments?
Manuel, hi, this is Patricia.
Patricia,
So who can
oh,
actually
Miss Bryant, how you doing? Yeah.
I am well, thank you, thank you. So you probably already stated this, and I may have missed this. So who can actually do referrals besides the providers? Anyone else in at Alliance Health can do the referrals, or you guys have already designated that one person? I know on the team in Mecklenburg we have John that actually does the referrals for some of our TCL members. Is anyone else designated to do referrals?
Well, now when you say
How's that
referral,
determined?
okay. Okay, now
I mean, the
referrals, that's okay.
application.
Let's get that. I got you. Now, we
Okay.
have the community health workers in Mecklenburg, also like Kimberly Terry and Kimberly Randolph and Antigone Wilson, and I don't know who else is on here. I think Andrea, you've had training too, right? I think she has. And John, and then you got the providers also in the area. But yeah, as people, John and Kimberly Terry are probably the more frequent, the people frequently submitting applications for ILI from Alliance in Mecklenburg. I think, yeah.
Okay.
But if you need more folks, then they have to be trained, and to do it because they have to do the application. Yeah.
Emmanuel, can I
hope
just
that
say
answers.
that, hi, this is Natalie Barnes.
Hey,
Patricia,
Ms.
all the
Barnes.
CHWs in all the regions are trained to submit the applications.
Okay, good.
Hey,
Okay,
Emmanuel.
great.
Hey there, Natalie. Thank you for your input. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Patricia, for your question too.
Sure.
Miss Mitchell, I'm going to go and put the name of the Wake County person in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now the Bender at Alliance Health. I know I'm talking to myself, y'all. Please forgive me. Hope I spelled her name right and all that. Wake and Orange. And there we go. All right. Any other questions? Well, I had a great time here today with you all. Y'all just really spread sunshine on a gloomy day. And thank you, Andrea, for inviting me today. And y'all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Manuel.
Thanks, Manuel.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, John. Good to hear you too.
Okay, great. That was a really good presentation. We appreciate Manuel coming on and presenting the ILI process and application. So really appreciate that. So, great Manuel and his team. So now we're going to go into our Q&A. If anyone has any questions or concerns about housing, here's the time to talk about, and that goes for overall. It could be anyone that's serving Johnson, Cumberland, Durham, Wake County, or Mecklenburg County. If you have any housing concerns right now, here's the time to talk about it or ask us questions. I think we have a huge amount of housing support specialists on the call. So feel free.
Patricia.
Yes.
I wanted to add also, and I'm sorry that
that's okay.
ILI has also assisted, members in TCL in supportive housing with getting into a targeted property. And so by paying the past due utility arrears in order for them to move into the property, or if it's a TCL member, they are at risk for eviction, and for whatever reason, and we have provided funds to prevent evictions there. So so we work closely with those type of programs also. That's all.
Yes. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, yes, that has been a huge support system for a lot of our people, especially those are wanting to gain access to a targeted unit, because there could be a lot of barriers, like you said, unpaid or past due balances on utilities. We run into that a lot. Okay, thank you for pointing that out, Emmanuel. Any questions, any housing concerns that we need to address right now at this time? I see Miss Audrey is on the call. Anybody have any question about Section 8, mainstream vouchers? No? No?
Hello.
Nothing? Okay,
This is
go ahead.
Jacqueline Lauer, community health worker. How are you today?
Hey, Jacqueline, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. One question I need to ask is the Section 8 voucher. I have a member that's staying in an apartment complex that his mother had Section 8, but she's deceased now, and they are continuing to live in the property, and was just confronted about payment of the rent for the property. The property manager did not know that the member's mother had passed. But the question came up is that can the Section 8 voucher transfer to one of the members in the household, one of the tenants in the household, without
Um,
having to go through a lot of hoops?
right. Yes. Under normal circumstances, and I say normal circumstances because, first it would have to be approved by the PHA, then, and, in the event there's, some underlying issues, that would affect their eligibility to remain. But the voucher was in the mother's name and she is now deceased, then the members remaining, they would be considered the surviving members of the household, and they could, yes, they could continue with the Section 8 voucher, but they should have, I don't know. It sounds like, did they contact the housing authority to
Well,
even
the
let them know?
I don't think they contacted the housing authority because number one, no rent has been paid since June of last year.
Oh, now see, that's an underlying issue. That's
Right,
an underlying issue.
right, and the mother and the rent
Yeah,
was only $27 a month.
and so the tenant's portion wasn't paid. Section 8
Tenants,
continued to pay.
exactly.
Yes. Okay. See, that's an underlying issue right there. They should have immediately. Now, is the member the only adult in the household?
No, the member um, is disabled, but
Right.
has two brothers staying there, and one of the brothers is the payee for the member.
Okay. And again, another issue, were they all listed on the household composition under
Yes, all of them are
under the
listed.
voucher?
All of them are listed under on the lease. But I think
Okay. No.
the mother and the member were listed on the voucher, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. See, they have a lot to iron out. They've gone 6 months and they have not paid the rent, have not paid their
Right.
portion, but I'm assuming the landlord has just been holding out, trying to work with them, or are they just finding out? You said they're just finding out also that the mother's deceased?
Well, what happened is the complex they have a lot of turnover, and they just got a new manager on site, and the manager just approached them day before yesterday and asked what
Okay.
was going on, and she just found out that the mother was deceased, which the
Okay.
vouchers in the mother's name, and she's giving them some time to straighten out the issue. But
Right.
one of the issues is that one of the brothers, he has a criminal background, so he's not going to be able to um, take on the lease. And the other one, he had a charge like 30 years ago, but it wasn't, a major charge. So
Yeah.
guess they're going to try to, after I spoke with them yesterday, that they're going to try to get in touch with someone at Durham Housing Authority
Yes,
to
they'll need to
see if,
contact them immediately. And,
right.
the housing case manager will walk them through it, what they have to
Okay.
do, what they have to provide. But if Jacqueline, if you want to talk more about it, we could talk later, offline.
Who's this?
Okay.
Is this Audrey?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Hey, Miss
Yes.
Audrey. How you doing, Miss
I'm
Audrey?
finding yourself.
Okay, we can. You can call me, or either I can call you. You want me to call you?
Well, I have another meeting, so I'll give you a call this afternoon.
That sounds great, because
All
I have
righty.
2 more meetings.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Great, Miss Audrey. Thank you for chiming in with that question with Miss Jacqueline. We appreciate that.
Certainly.
Anyone else have any other housing questions, concern at this time?
I have a question regarding sorry, let me hear my background music. Background
No,
noise.
you're fine.
About registering for like ILI trainings and like future housing trainings, if they're not sent to us directly, who do we contact for that? Because I looked on the Alliance website and I wasn't able to access it or see anything that I can register for in the future.
Ms.
Well, I see
Mitchell,
Emmanuel is on. Go ahead.
yeah, I think I sent you, and I think, didn't you take the CST training a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, but I haven't received anything else afterwards.
I thought I sent everybody on that list the training days, but I'm going to, and put your, I think I got your email address, but I'm going to send it to you. It's the Elwin email address.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Okay.
And
it allowed me to register, I guess, or do I just join?
You just join. It's not registration. So you'll have instructions in the email also. And I apologize that you did not get that.
It's okay. Thank you.
And make sure you check your junk and spam also, junk mail and spam mail, just in case it's lost in there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Thank you, Emmanuel. Do we have any other questions or concern at this time?